Hi, and welcome to Kill Stream. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the week of the open beta for Champions Online. Okay, the character creation here is pretty fantastic. There's a few things here that do annoy me a little bit, and hopefully they will get fixed later down the road, is that every time you start a new character, it starts with the same costume and the same mask. Now, I'm hoping that they pretty much wipe the character to where they're not wearing the same mask and the same costumes. So on this character creation, you basically can do anything. Just about anything. You can manipulate your character's faces. You can make them wide, skinny, you can make the eyes larger, you can make the nose and the mouth, and pretty much anything you can imagine you can do with the face manipulation here. And it's the same way with the body manipulation as well. You can make them real tall, you can make them short, you can make them skinny, you can make them physically fit, you can, do anything you want with this character creation. And you can make them monstrous, you can have them with super long arms or super long legs, or just, your imagination is the only thing holding you back on this. And then you go into the actual character creation itself, where you basically create the costume. The first time I used this, I didn't realize there was more options to me than what was on the screen. There is actually a box above there that will drop down and give you even more options on your costumes and faces and different clothing you can wear. You start out in a starter zone, which in this particular starting zone, there are these aliens called the QLAR that have taken over the city. And it's your job to go around and talk to different police officers that are standing around, and then they give you the information to go out and do certain things to get rid of the QLAR, basically. So the first couple of missions here are pretty original. It's not like WoW where you have to go in there and kill 10 wolves or 10 bears and get bear skins or wolf skins and take it back to your guy, and then you have to go back out and get red bandanas, and I mean, it's nothing really like that, thank God. Basically, the beginning of this is you are trying to defend the city against these aliens called the QLAR that have taken over the city. So as you go around and you start talking to these cops and they start giving you the missions, you kind of find out, wow, these missions are actually kind of fun. And you can interact with certain objects in this game, as in you can pick them up and hold them above your head and run around and throw them at people. So that right off the bat, I really enjoy it, because you can't really do that in any other MMO right now, or at least not as much. You can't interact as much as you could in the starting zone anyway. So then there's another quest where you have to go and save these people who are trapped underneath the cars, underneath rubble that QLAR has thrown on top of them, or that's fallen on top of them. And again, that was pretty fun. Eventually get to the end of this starting zone, and an average person probably, at first, if you're playing it through the first time, it might take you a half an hour at the most to get through it. To read all the dialogue and then figure out where you're going, what to do. But really, after you get through all that and you've done it a few times, it shouldn't take you any more than 10 minutes at the most to get through this. Because you just got to click on the people, don't read the dialogue, and you just go and do whatever you got to do to get out of there. And there are certain scenes in here too that are voice acted. Like when you get towards the end of the starting zone, you meet up with this guy, Ironclad, and he does talk to you. And the voice acting here is actually pretty decent.
The QLAR made a mistake coming here. Earth is under the protection of Ironclad.
This door leads to the defense control room.
So once you get out of the starting zone, you have two choices. You can either go to Canada or you can go to Mexico. I had to say something about this too. Basically, you're getting out of a starting zone and you're going into another starting zone. Now this is kind of annoying actually. I think they could have done something a lot different than this. And hopefully when the game actually launches, or at least down the road in the game, every time you start a new character, I'm hoping you have an option to skip these two starting zones. So at level 5, you actually get your flight ability, which again is really pretty cool. There's a place in there called the Powerhouse you have to go to, and once you go into the Powerhouse, you can pick your flight ability or your weapons or whatever you want to do. So the first travel ability that I picked was fire, because I made this fire guy, and I figured, well, it'd be cool. He, like the Human Torch, of course, where he catches on fire and flies around. Now, it's pretty awesome. I mean, the graphic-wise, it's pretty awesome looking. But I was having a little bit of problem controlling this guy. It seems like he's flying so fast. But again, this is a beta version of this, of course. And again, this is the first time that you actually have your flying ability, so you probably get used to it after a while. So then I created a second character who was a melee class. And basically what this is my character was able to use swords and guns instead of superpowers, really. And I really liked this class. I thought it was a lot of fun. I really pretty much played this character for most of the week that I went through Champions Online. Now, he had the sword class. Like I said, you get up to somebody close, he just pulls out you can either have a single sword or you can have the double wielding sword. It's up to you. I went with the double wielding swords. So, and you get up to somebody, you can cut them up with the swords, or you can shoot them with what looks like Desert Eagles, the guns that you get. Maybe it's just me, but for some whatever reason, I thought this was a lot more fun than just being able to freeze or catch people on fire. So then, with this character, the melee character, I actually chose the grappling hook as my travel power. And the first time I used this grappling hook, it was really almost annoying, because it was kind of like, it's hard to control it, just like the fire abilities. You're flying around with this grappling hook, and the way you control the grappling hook is you have to hit your space bar and it'll shoot out, and then once you swing, you let go of the space bar and you hit it again, and then it'll shoot out and you swing again. So at first I didn't really like that at all. I was thinking, I really wish I would have changed my travel ability to something else. But the more I played this character, I began to really like the grappling hook. And then I went back to the fire character and was trying to fly around a little bit, and I found myself missing the grappling hook. So I went back to my melee character and kept using the grappling hook. Okay, the graphics in this game were really impressive. The city looks alive. I mean, there's stuff everywhere, people walking, especially in the starting area. There's just the QLAR has blown up the whole city, and there's just stuff to look at everywhere. And like I said, there's people trapped under rubble, and there's fires, and there's smoke, and there's it's really awesome to look at graphic-wise. And yes, it is a little cartoony, but again, it's based on a comic book, so that's kind of the way they're going. And I actually prefer the more cartoony look over the real look myself. So once you get out of the first starting zone and the second starting zone, you have a choice to either staying in Mexico or Canada. There was also a third choice to go to Millennium City. So I was like, oh, I really want to see what the city looks like. So I ended up going to the city and flying around, or swinging around the city with this melee character. And the city is amazing looking. It is really, really amazing looking. It looks absolutely fantastic. So the graphics in the city are just amazing. I mean, like I said, there's cars driving everywhere. There's people walking. There's tons of different buildings it looks like you can go into and interact with people inside the buildings. There's a lot of stuff it looks like you can do in the city. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to do any missions in the city because I was still a low-level character. In another few months I will come back on here and let you know how I've progressed in a game and how the game itself has progressed. So I hope you like the review. This is Kill Screen, and I will see you next time.